Hello, everybody. This is Carrie from Paper Adventures back for another hashtag 50 Stack Challenge 7. And this is a challenge created by CraftyCat. If you would like to join, you can just put hashtag 50 Stack Challenge 7. And you could go ahead and just pause the video, go down to the description box. And I do have a little bit more of a description of what this challenge is. It's not very long, very short, to the point. But I will tell you, as I usually do, I'm using this challenge to make a journal in this one. I made ephemera pieces in the last one, but I'm making journal pages in this one so I can, at the end, put a journal together. So, to give you an example, last week we were on number 17 and 18, or at least I am on number 17 and 18. And that 17 was photograph and 18 was gesso. So here's what, excuse me, I ended up doing for that. Now, this particular piece was actually made in the last 50 stack challenge, and I think the prompt might have been photograph. I mean, it could have been, or it could have been picture. I can't remember, but anyways, this is what I did. And so I just used this piece right here to complete the photograph prompt, and it's just a pocket. And there's my photograph right there, writing spot. And this just, I made it where it'll flip out. Stapled on just some writing pieces right here. And you can see that I did add gesso all, just not tons, but just a little bit here. And then I made a pocket. Now I do plan, actually I'm going to do that right now. Sometimes I'll rewatch the videos and I'll change a few things, like I actually added something to one of my other pages. And I don't need to re-ink that. It's still, well, there's a little bit there. There's a little bit. But I figure that'll go in better if I do that. But yeah, so just a little pocket there. You can go back and watch that video if you'd like to. So that's what I did for the last one. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and just show you what I changed. Let me find it. When I was watching it, I noticed these pieces were like curled up. And so I added these little corners to make it where it would have a little bit of weight so they would not, be sticking up. So that's all I did on that one. Now, let's see. So now we're on number 19 and 20. Number 19 is Polka Dots and number 20 is Doodle. So I am actually going to be using this page to complete that challenge. So you will see that, I don't know, maybe it was the one before this one. Yeah, I did this page. And this little flip does attach to the back. So I will be using this. I mean, it's going to be perfect because I'm actually going to have something that will tuck right in there. And you'll see that. Okay, but I wanted to kind of leave that on there and show you that. Now let me take that off so I can actually be able to work with this. Okay, so as you can see, I did go ahead and put gesso on here because, well, what I'm going to be doing, I wanted to have gesso and I didn't want to waste time by doing it and having to wait for it to dry. So I did that way earlier today on here. Now I'm going to tell you, Doodle, let me see if I can find the piece. One of the things I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to be putting inside that little flap, and it's going to be this. Now, I actually thought I would never use this. I actually did this in the last challenge, and the prompt was abstract. And this is actually what CraftyCat had done too. I think she saw something like this done in Pinterest or something. And hers looks way better, though. But I remember, I'm pretty sure I said, in that video that there's no way I will probably use this, but it was fun to do. I did today go ahead and make all this darker. I added some stick arms and stuff, but I thought this will go along with Doodle just because of those faces remind me of doodling. So I am going to use that, but I'm also still going to be doing some doodling, and I'll explain that a little better when I complete it, because the doodling I'm going to be doing, it reminded me of something I used to do when I worked in customer service on the phones years ago, to help my time go by. And I'll actually explain that when I get done so you can actually see, and it'll make more sense. But that's what I'm going to be doing in this one. Yeah, I think that's all I really have to say right now. But anyways, thanks for joining me. Thanks for just taking the time to watch my videos, and I'm going to go ahead and get into the video. Okay, here we have it. Number 19, Polka Dots. Number 20, Doodle. Now this one is definitely going to be a little different than the other ones. But it was fun, it's a fun one. So, I already explained about this being on here. Let me go ahead and actually take that off. So you already saw this. I did go ahead and add some stitches around here. Let me see if anything else. Yeah, I just added some stitching and that there. But so there's that. And here's all of my doodle stuff. And there, of course, is the polka dots. And one of these actually says dot. So to explain what I used to do when I worked on the phones in customer service, in order to survive the day, I would have to have different, what's the word? Oh, intermissions? No, that's not the right word. Goals, basically different. I know I'll think of it here in a minute. But basically, I didn't want to think about, oh goodness, I have 8 hours to go. I needed to have little intermission type things, and that's still not the word, but I would only think about the first break. Like I just needed to get to the first break. And then after that break happened, then I'd be, okay, now my goal is lunch. Okay, lunch happens. Okay, now my goal is my next break. Now my goal is home. So that's what I would do. I would break it up that way. And one of the things I would do is at first I would, let me get my pen here or my pencil. I'll get a pen. Let me get a piece of paper. And basically it's this. I would first do this. Each line was but it would equal 30 minutes. So when 30 minutes would happen, I would put a line and I would keep doing that until, of course, I would cross it. That would be equal to 2.5 hours. So when I knew once I got, I guess about 3 of those, almost 3 or something, then I was getting close to being home. So I would focus on stuff like this instead of I have 8 hours. So, but then I ended up doing something different. I would get a piece of paper and I would put squares all over it, and each square would equal 30 minutes. And I would do it straight across, kind of like you would have seen me do it at the beginning before I cut all this up. I would just do it straight across. And for each 30 minutes, like this may be 8 to 8:30, let's say, I would doodle inside of that square. And I think I would have the time too. I'd put like 8 to 8:30, stuff like that. And I would just doodle inside that square. And I used to do that all the time. And I actually ended up making a picture. I put all of my doodles in a picture frame and added some material to look like, like a ribbon. I decorated a picture frame and gave it to my daughter. It actually looked pretty neat. But that's what I did. And this is what this is representing. I took that concept and just put it here. And of course you can see my polka dots right here. And what I did was I tried to tie in the stuff from here, this purple and then this dictionary page. So that's what I did. I just let it run through the middle there. But the reason why I put gesso in here, I had a different idea. And you might have seen me trying to make these into dots, but those don't really work because I wanted it to just have really light polka dots, but it's fine. But anyways, this is what I ended up with, and it's not what I call, beautiful or elegant or anything, but like I said, it is fun. It's very grungy for sure. But I don't know. It was still fun to do that. But anyways, I really appreciate you joining me on this, and I do hope to see you again on the next one. Bye.